Hey guys.
Amy Chella
Amy Chella.
in the virtual flesh.
That's what I was waiting for.
So good. Okay, I have a couple of thoughts and I have a question. I don't know if I usually have questions, but I have a question. Okay, so Curt, you said most of our troubles revolve around our ability or inability or challenge with transitioning.
From state to state. That's right.
Yeah. Oh my. Okay. So there's that. I'm putting a couple placeholders, and then the trauma interrupts our ability. So transitioning, being able to transition, really is worthy of our attention because it's big. Then those of us, most of us, have had trauma. All of us have had some level of trauma.
Yeah.
That interrupts it. But then that beauty can help us refine our ability to transition. So there's that. And then artifacts of beauty at the ready, having them at the ready. So there's all these things. And then I think about us, the three of us, we've talked about this before. And so it's in my mind. And I remember when we first covered it, when we first talked about it, I found myself like running into moving from one state of mind to the other. I was not anticipating it. And I was like, holy cow, wait, okay, I'm in a different, I need a minute.
Yeah.
But it was almost comical in my mind, where another time it would have hijacked me. It was almost comical because it was like, oh yeah, I'm going from, I need to go from one state to another, or I am going. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And so in that sense, it is an artifact of beauty, just having had the conversation that we had and noticing what's happening. Noticing what's happening
Totally
is huge.
Totally.
And then I was thinking, like, okay, so we all wear a number of hats. And so there are these hats of producing and organizing and managing and anticipating, this professional sense. And then I slide into picking up my niece from school. And it's sometimes like a screeching halt, like, oh, I want to be there for her. She's had a day that I don't know anything about. And even having the framework that it is moving from one state of mind to the other is huge.
Right. And I think too that Pepper, I was really captivated by your story about how contemplating beauty creates a wider space for you to make the connections. And I want our listeners to really hear this notion that I want them to practice having beauty at the ready. I want you to practice having it at the ready. It's not a matter of like, oh, I'm gonna contemplate beauty. I'm gonna let beauty be with me, and then it somehow will magically happen. No, like I have to continue to be an actor in this. I have to continue to have agency. And so even like we have this phrase, I've used it here before, that we like to strike while the iron is cold. This notion of I don't want to just wait for the next uncomfortable rapid transition period to show up and then clamoringly like looking for beauty in my mind. I want to, on my drive to work, I want to practice. Oh, this morning I'm going to bring it to mind. I'm going to set my watch, and three times today when my watch goes off, I'm going to just like, I'm going to take 30 seconds and I am going to contemplate something that I've done, maybe from the website offerings, from reflections that we talked about, or the driftwood pieces from Jekyll Island, all these things that we've been talking about, a scene from Shawshank, right? I'm going to replay these things. I'm going to have them at the ready and let them do their work. Let them knead the dough, right? So and then so you're right. I mean, like when we're doing this on purpose, it becomes these moments become much more easily accessible to us when we do, like, find, and it's inevitable. Like
yeah, it's so it's the whole reason why I started memorizing poetry, so that I could have it at the ready. And I heard
Totally.
the actor, I don't know if Ethan Hawke,
Oh yeah.
talking recently, and he was talking about poetry, and he said we don't, something, I'm paraphrasing, and it's going to be, but he was basically saying, you know, we don't need, we don't think we need these words, this type of language. We don't think we need it until we do. And then if you don't have it, you're in trouble. So we need this for grief and for trauma and for all these things. But if we don't, if we haven't filled our, our bags up with it so that it's ready for us, like you say, Curt, then you're scrambling and trying to figure out what I'm going to do.
Right.
But if we've been practicing these things, then they're at the ready.
Yeah. It's like, what do we have in our well? Because usually, like, if I don't have beauty in there, then I'm going to go to anxiety and fear and they're a whole different.
Totally.
And that's the beauty of of work.
Totally. That's it.
Because
that's what
that gives us agency. Yeah. It's like fabulous. Yep. We can do this just by showing up. That's why I also love every time we put ourselves in the path of beauty, even if it's the same, if it's the irises over and over and over, every time it reveals, more is revealed about the beauty and about us.
Right.
And we don't have to make it happen. We put ourselves in its path.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You were going to say something.
Well, just real quick, and then because you had a question too, because I want to get to the question. Yeah, but just real quick, I'm reminded of Tim Mackey's from the Bible Project, his comment that I heard a number of months ago, where he said, once you get past the second page of the Bible, virtually never does God ever do anything apart from human agency. It's always humans who are the actors.
Wow. Wow.
And I think it's so easy for us to think, I just want God to do something. But what we're saying here is that God has done something, and that He's provided Rothko. He's provided the Peace of Wild Things. Like He's come, He's finding us, right? He's the beauty is there, and He takes us so much more seriously than we take ourselves. And so for us to be agents to then take advantage of and to live into our roles as kings and queens who will one day rule over angels, I'm thinking like, I hope the ones I have to rule over are like, like three and maybe 7 years old. Like that's about, they're about that big. 'Cause like, that's a whole other enterprise. I would want to say, God, are you sure? I don't know that that's a good idea. Anyway.
Okay, my question. So I found myself wanting to name the states of mind, which I don't. Can you name? And then I thought correct me if I'm wrong. It's very closely related to emotion, right? Like a fearful state of mind. I found myself wanting to.
Yeah, we might say we might say that it's more than that. In that, so the example would be, if the alarm goes off on Saturday morning and I'm going to go play pickleball.
Right.
Emotion is part of that, but the state of mind would include the automatic, without me thinking about it. Like I'm not waking up and thinking, oh, I'm now in the state of mind of being prepared to go to play pickleball. I'm not thinking that.
Right.
But I just get up and automatically do. Like I go to my closet and I get my gym shorts and I get my t-shirt and I get my sneakers. I get my socks for playing this. And I'm just like on autopilot doing this while I'm thinking about other things.
Right.
Yeah. Yes. Emotion is certainly part of that state, but there is also like behavior. There's also implicitly remembered actions and things that I'm imaging and things. Right, I'm thinking I'm going over to the dresser to see the little thermostat that keeps track of the outside temperature. Do I have to put on longer like athletic gear or whatever? All those things So it's an expanded. So when we talk about state of mind, it is a neural network pattern, firing pattern that is all primed and fairly automatically ready to be delivered, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And the thing is, it's kind of like, you know, we can be primed in other ways. If I'm primed to, you know, I'm not proud of this, but when I feel accused, when I feel accused, not just neutrally, but when I have done something, and not that either of you would ever have any idea what this is like. When I have done, it's the whole thing of like, you know, no good deed goes unpunished. When you've done something and what you think you're doing is you're actually trying to help someone, you're trying to be this, or you're doing the right thing. You're just, I'm just minding my own business, and then something happens, and and what your action has done has evoked something in somebody else, you know. Maybe it's your spouse, for example, not like hypothetically. And the next thing you know, things are being said, and you're like, wait, what the? And so there's the feeling. Like when I feel accused, I will tell you, I mean, like it takes about half a second for the Kevlar to come on. I'm like Iron Man. The Kevlar comes on. I have my weapon in my hand. It doesn't take any practice. It doesn't it is like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I know what you mean.
I mean, in less than 5 seconds, I will enter a completely different state of mind than what I was in 5 seconds ago. And I will tell you, like, it might take me half a day to get out of it. And so this happened not that long ago. And but I will say, you know, with thanks be to God, I mean, I did this imperfectly, but I was aware that I was being tempted to enter into the state. And I'm just breathing, and I'm aware that the state is like you see the storm coming, right? And somehow those clouds are they're moving so much faster than what they typically the speed, right? They're moving like at 80 miles an hour. How are they getting here so fast from the western horizon? And just breathing, trying to be curious about the other person's state of mind. Being curious about where are they, what are they feeling, what are they sensing, what are they imaging. And I will say that the more we practice being in these places of beauty, the more I can access that and just wait long enough and breathe a little longer and breathe a little longer to not let the Kevlar come on and so forth.
Well, and then us being curious about our own, like the reason, Curt, you see it coming is because you've given yourself, you're familiar with it. You've been curious about it and you've noticed it.
Yeah,
like we can try to push it away. It can flood us and then we can like try to push it away. But when we're curious about it, then it's almost like we're befriending it.
Right.
And then
totally
see it coming. Yeah.
Totally. And so this is the thing, the contemplation of beauty, putting ourselves on that path, does not eliminate states of mind that are uncomfortable.
Right.
But what it does is that, like, I want to just get back to what you were talking about, Pepper. It lengthens the time of transition for us. So it gives me more options for agency of a different kind, instead of just succumbing to the automaticity of my brainstem and my amygdala that are just like, have me, boom, on the scene, shoot first, ask questions later.
It's good.
Yeah.
Takes work, though.
It does. It
The
does.
right kind of work, the good kind of work.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for this time.
Thanks, everybody.
This
It's
day.
great to be with you.
Great to be with you.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
See you
you
next week.
Yep.